morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. You might notice it looks a little funny in here. Got a little light situation going on. We're actually thinking in the future of going on, doing the show in the dark, putting bags on our heads, whatever really works. But he's Anthony, I'm Andy, and this is Talking Horses. Nah, I'm not into that. Though I think Chuck Barris was a genius. Chuck Barris was a true genius.
I feel like Bane in here today. You know, they adopted the doc. I was born in it.
All right. Anyway, you need to head over to Naira Bets, play today's card, play all the action, play it everywhere. Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Race, what else we got? Pick six carryover, $16,850. That commenced in race 3 of our 8-race card today. We also have a deal with Tampa, Aqueduct in Tampa.
Let's make a deal,
each.
Monty.
Yeah, $15 bonus. Got to opt in over at Naira Bets. You're probably all already kind of worked up from your big morning playing the races over in Dubai. I know, Anthony can't.
Apparently, there was a Dubai-wide glitch on past performances and over at Naira Bets on it said all weather as the track.
They race on dirt.
They race on dirt.
They took the all weather out about 10 years ago.
For some reason, there was a glitch this morning across all of the PP and wagering platform.
Well, it's important information now that the races are over. They didn't move them to Gulfstream to run on their Tapeta or Turfway.
Or our
FS2,
pony track.
2:30 to 5:30, covering races here and Oaklawn Park. Race number 1. We'll start with the horse you have on top, Candlestick Maker, the second place finish last time, and I will let you talk about this.
It's not the Butcher or the Baker. It's the Candlestick Maker. Yeah, first time on the dirt. Got beat just the neck last time. I don't know. This horse dropped in for the bottom. And he's running against 5 horses.
Beat Tequila by 3 lengths, who came back to get drowned in his next start.
And
her next start.
I got it. But, I mean, these horses, I mean, they have a handful of, save Tequila, who's had 15 starts. This is a hungry bunch of horses who have a handful of board places.
And she is maybe the horse to beat, but I'm not looking to take a short price on her. I've got her second. It's not like I took a big stand against her. But I do think it's worth for people that are betting this race to think she has to win this race to take a good look at Good Morning Angels.
Nobody has to win this race.
The horse who beat her. I mean, I'm going to go through some of the she's basically 10 points worse by her figs for the most part in her starts. And I'm wondering if that fig just came up a little bit high for those horses. And with Frosty Invasion, maybe getting more distance will help this horse a little bit. I thought it was a bit of a tougher group last time. I don't love Frosty Invasion, don't get me wrong. But I thought maybe the mile, this horse has races that are fast enough, and I just think it'll be a better price than the number 1 and isn't really any less likely to win this race. So I went 6-1 in here. It's just nobody else in this race has ever done any running at all. Actually, Tequila has. Tequila was kind of unjustly DQ'd 2 years ago, and she's never won since. She was kind of screwed in that race. That was a
last race on her card.
Dubious
if you have the,
DQ,
print
I thought.
Version.
And I didn't bet her. Well, that was a dubious DQ. Anyway, anything else?
Absolutely. Probably spent more time than we should have. Veronica's leaving us. That's not a good sign.
Okay. Race number 2. Race number 2. We'll show the video. Boy, I guess right with you in 2 straight races.
You
here.
know,
Look at this.
I didn't
Run
have
Devil.
too many clever things to say on today's card. I like Run Devil today.
Okay. Tell us why.
And I know Run Devil's got to improve, or at the very least come back to some old form. So, off the 2 years plus, Reigning Chick ran a dynamite effort. I know this race was slow, but came from well off the pace. Then this mare, I should say, came back and ran, I thought, a good race. She was in it from the bell. It was a slow race, but she was in contention every step of the way in her second start off of that race. Now, she has a 3rd race back from that long break. She has 2 races on her card that make her a major, major player.
Well,
I know they were 3 years ago. I know they were 3 years ago. But I'm hoping that she can find some of that form, or at the very least, improve enough from her first 2 starts off that break to make her a player in here. I think she will be, I think she'll be forward in here. She'll probably be sitting off of Risky Frolic, who with the blinkers on, coming out of a little bit of faster races, will probably be in front. I'm hoping she could trip off of Risky Frolic, and I'm going to try to get the money at 4 or 5 to 1. I don't think she'll be 6 to 1. I'm hoping she'll be 4 or 5 to 1 today.
No, I don't think she'll be that price either. Not
Those
really.
will be shorter?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? She has to be
I don't-
shorter, I think.
Yeah. I thought she would be, but I think that, in my opinion, the reason that you're supposed to like her, if you like her in this race, is that she was involved in the pace with two of our horses that finished 6th and 7th in there, and that she is the one that survived the pace. So I actually thought her last race was a solid effort and a better effort than it looks on paper. And that's the reason that I would use her in this race, but I put her third in here. I went to Brisky Frolic, who's going to be the speed in this race. She ran against a superior field last time out, a much, much better field. And just think, if you go back to her prior race, I know it was an off-the-turf race. I know it was for Todd Pletcher. Obviously, that race would win this race about 98% of the time. And I think that her last race is a little bit compromised by the fact she got involved in a duel in just a better field, and gets blinkers on, supposed to be in front. So I put her on top. I didn't know that she'd be 9-5. I'm not sure how they're going to exactly bet this race. Dave is usually right, so don't have any reason to disagree with him. I don't think Dancing Sophia is impossible in this
No.
race either. I'm not really sure what went wrong last time, but you look at her race with Brisky Frolic, and I think Brisky Frolic ran a much better race, even though if you finished just behind her, 3/4 of a length behind her, she did much more of the dirty work in there. And if you look at Dancing Sophia, her 2 prior races, and she was relatively close to the pace, were a good 10 points better. So I think there's reasons that Brisky Frolic regressed last time. I prefer those over Run Devil, but I can see that Run Devil, to me, she ran pretty well last time. I didn't think she was impossible in here. I didn't want anybody else.
Yeah, but I agree.
Race number 3. Race number 3. We agree in race number 3. I have no videos. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, first time Lasix, as most of these 3-year-olds will get it now. Another horse. This horse came in off.
Scoot.
Yeah, Scoot. The only time this horse was in a race where he, I should say, had any kind of a chance was last time when he dueled with the eventual winner, and tired. There's not much in here. The horses that have run have shown very little speed, if any. He's supposed to be in front in here, and I just hope he keeps on going from the inside draw.
You know, Warrior Richard finished ahead of this horse, obviously, in Warrior Richard's debut and his last start. But I know that bumped lost action, whatever it means. I don't really know. I believe that Scoot did much more dirty work, was dueling with the winner. Now, that was a bad race. I'm not a big Warrior Richard fan, which is why I took Scoot. I'd rather have the horse that's in front of the other one. And Warrior Richard just seems to be picking up pieces. Got shuffled a little bit after the start in his last start, and, you know, needs to be better in there. I thought it was interesting. Did Manny not want to ride this horse back? They not want to ride Manny?
That's a good call.
It's sort of odd that Manny's not riding in this race. Now, is it possible he had a call in somebody that decided not to go at the last minute or something?
Maybe.
But it's sort of odd that he's not listed to ride him, especially given how well he's been riding lately. Vargas won a couple races yesterday for Dave Donk, who got off that schneid.
They
You
almost won
mentioned
3
how he was
yesterday.
cold.
That horse in the first race might be okay if that horse gets his act together.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. The winner ran fine.
Winner's a nice horse. The winner could be okay too.
No,
Yeah.
I always thought the second. I don't know if he's okay, but the second horse will probably break his maiden next time out. I couldn't find a real case for anybody. After that, I wanted
In
to
here, yeah.
use Charlie Baker in the 6th, but he's got terrible numbers with his drop downs and maiden special weight numbers. The Kelly Breen horse really hasn't done any running at all. I mean, I know he was in a good field 2 back. He gets Lasix, but he hasn't really done any running at all. I just didn't find any options whatsoever.
Can't have much. I put Michelle Nevin first to
That's the one with firsters. It's a frosted.
85,000 running for 20 first time out. Yeah, I put the horse third because the other horses just don't seem like they can run.
I thought Frosted would be a better sire. I really did.
Yeah.
A lot of people did. A lot of people want to buy Frosteds. Race number 4.
The foe. We'll break after this.
We will break after 4.
Pick 6 starts in the third, by the way, with the carryover.
$16,850 carryover. Starts in race 3. Thank you, Anthony. I put Diamond Collector on top. I will show the race last time from the fog. A fine job by our camera crew and our team coming together and putting things together. We excel, or they excel, I should say.
They do an
I don't want
amazing
any
job.
credit. When the chips are down and under less than ideal conditions, shows when the group really comes together to do a good job with
I
the
know
mobile cameras.
we don't give Eric enough credit too. Eric Donovan was responsible for a lot of
He
these
deserves
cameras.
no credit whatsoever.
Eric was
Terrible
responsible
man.
for a lot of these camera placements when we started expanding to the Fox show and everything.
Well, we had that great Eric move when they were showing Eric, and I believe he dropped the camera
Yeah.
or something. It was like a twist around.
But Eric and Johnny and I had a little input there as well, but Eric did an amazing job.
I will go to my grave trying to figure out where Laughter got this race from last time. Because that race that she ran was so much better than any race she'd ever run. They bet her like they knew she was going to run, because she could have been any price in that race.
Yeah, she could have been 10 to 1. She was like 3 to 1 or she won a
4 to 1, she could have been.
$10 or
She had no
something?
chance on paper. And
She galloped.
in her. And they knew
Yeah.
she would, and she ran a figure that was about 20 points, 15.
That
pounds
happens.
higher.
That probably happens in the Rob Actress barn more than any other barn around here.
It does. It's the only barns that's really been firing like that. And I'm just not going to try to beat this horse in here. Thought the horse improved dropping last time and found a similar bunch. You've put her second to the horse that I have second, and that is Alpine
I
Queen.
thought it was
Here's
2s and
her last
3s.
race.
I thought it was 2s and 3s. I like this horse's effort first off the claim for my man Johnny Toscano. Tried to bottom them out last time. I would imagine that's the plan in here. Just try to get to the top and keep on going. She's going to have to stretch out, and she's stretched out successfully in the past. I know her faster races are in the sprints, but
She's done fine at a mile.
she's been fine at a mile.
66 by a mile.
Yeah,
Right?
I think she'll just. And I liked what I've seen from this kid.
Are you,
Jason Wayes.
are you worried that Raffinity will put pressure on her?
I did.
Not saying it'll be a
think
fast
she's,
race.
no, yeah, I mean, yes, she's the only horse that could probably stay within any kind of early company with her. But I think if Jason Wayes, and he's been a little aggressive at times.
He's very aggressive. I
I'd
like
like
him
to
as
see
a
her.
rider.
I'd like to see him just try to put some separation between him and Raffinity.
He hasn't got the memo yet that he's not allowed to
Not
be
allowed
aggressive.
to be aggressive.
around
Yeah.
here.
This horse ran really, really. I mean, this horse ran the best race of her life off the claim. So I'm hoping she just keeps that form and they stick to the tactics from last time and just put her on the front end.
You're watching these JKX stable horses. We've talked about the
Yes.
Manapanitum. I mentioned yesterday the article in the Pollock Report from Natalie Voss about detailing some situations going on with them down at Fair Hills. It's worth taking a look at that article if you haven't. And for what it's worth, I don't know if they ran any horses at Parks, but this was the first New York Star yesterday, and that horse went out the back door about halfway through the race. And unlike the horse who got put placed first, actually didn't have any horse.
This horse, I made a big bet on this horse last time.
Good
This
call.
horse didn't run 2 steps last time. This is the most dressed up second place finish you'll ever see on a racing
well,
field.
hang on a second. Yes, but the Tough Street race is the phony race. That's the problem.
No, yeah, no, and I don't
That's
disagree
the
with that.
phony
But I'm
race.
saying about you want to talk about a second place finish where a horse did 0 running. I mean, this horse did less running last time than I've done in the last 5 years.
All right, that's the 4th race. We'll be back with the late pick 4 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Hi, we're back.
Hello.
Sort of in the dark. He's Anthony. I'm Andy.
At least we're not dancing in the dark.
Race number 5. There you go. You're really on your game with all
Can't
sorts
start a
of
fire.
cliches here and stuff. Just randomly picked Courtney Cox out of the audience. It was such a oddity.
It's a great video, isn't it? It really is a great video.
Who directed it? I'm 99% sure that Brian De Palma directed it.
Really?
I will look it up.
Wow.
I believe that Brian De Palma directed the Dancing in the Dark video.
Huh? Very good.
Dressed to Kill. Does Body Double him too? Body Doubles him?
Yep.
Carrie, of course.
Carrie.
So many good movies, Brian De Palma. There's a very good documentary about him.
Carrie was the first Stephen King movie, yeah?
Was the first what?
Stephen King movie?
Seems possible. It's the first time I heard of him, because I remember people were talking about the book when we were in school, in high
think
school.
that was his first
Now you
movie.
mentioned it, you could be right. Because Shining was obviously after it by a few years. Anyway, we have no videos for this race. Talk about Cali Bally, besides an awful name.
Yeah, not much to, I mean, an awful name, right? I mean, really bad. This horse took some money
Well,
first time
Calypso
out.
Run, Bally,
Took some money first time out. Look, this is one of those races where we have to make a pick. This was my race for the day where you had to make a pick. First time Lasix.
Was Brian De Palma.
It was, very good.
Okay, I think there's reasons to like this horse, so
you
I'll
put
get
this
to
horse
it.
too? All right,
this
go ahead.
this horse actually showed speed and took a lot of money. I know they were off the turf race, but it actually wasn't that bad.
You feel like that's a
race.
lot of money for this guy's first time starters?
Yeah, and an off the turf race.
Okay.
Yeah, these horses don't get bet a lot. They bet the winner of that race. I think even Quarrel took some money in there. That was an off the turf race. I think the winner of that race is a player in stakes over this weekend at Tampa. Races we'll be covering
The
tomorrow.
Gasparilla.
Yeah, one of those.
It's the Gasparilla. It's the race of the week over at Naira Bets.
But I think this is a legitimate race, and obviously something sort of went badly wrong in there. So I'm just hoping this horse is the speed in here. And I mean, you look at Baby Sox. I guess Baby Sox can win. That was not exactly a killer field. Horses have come out of that race and run okay, some of them. So maybe it wasn't that bad a race. I thought one of these two would win. I'd take the horse with one
The
race.
problem with Baby Sox is they ran her for 30 first time out.
Right.
So it's like, all right,
She's in
this
for
is what
40.
she is. None of what I'm saying is though, this is what she is, and this race is littered with everybody else in here. Debuted for Save the Firster, debuted for Special Weight.
I wanted to make a case for Major Houlihan. Of course, the MASH reference there, Army Mule being the sire. And interesting that Mike Trombetta would ship here for this race, but God, this horse was awful last time. Just absolutely awful.
Took
in
a
that
little
race.
money, 9-2.
Yeah,
but
just
yeah,
did no running at
terrible.
all. Just get Lasix and blinkers and Mike shipping up, which is probably a good sign. I just didn't think this horse did really any running at all. Wow, you're heading down to Gulfstream February 3rd. They're doing the wall. They're having a light show. They should do that during the Pegasus
February
while
3rd?
it's
Where did you
being
see that,
run.
buddy?
It was just, you just missed it. Yeah, it's slate.
All we are is just
That was
another
the slate
brick in the
before
wall.
the slate when they're advertising races that were run 2 weeks ago. Anyway, we'll move on to race number 6. Race number 6. I want to relive annoying beats.
What do we, do
So
I have
I'm
to
going
do
to
this?
go over and look at Shadalamo in race number
Oh,
6.
why
who
do you
I
do this to yourself?
Bet last time at 14-1, and Mia Be a Star won her first race since I think Hoover was in office.
Carter.
Coming up the rail, and she was somehow 14-1 here, and should have been about 5-1. How the heck was she 14-1?
Did you hit this exacta?
race?
Did we talk
No,
about this?
No, I did not. It didn't pay that well. It paid like she was the 6-1 she should have been. It only paid like $60 for $2 because the CAW mares were a lot smarter than people betting in the win pool, who made her an insane for. This was a race to bet against Tough Street, and this was a race that exposed Tough Street.
Yep.
I go back to her. I'm getting no price, no nothing, but I couldn't resist because Jackie's running her again, and Jackie did really well with her in the past. I feel like Jackie and I were we were together. We had a what's the word, you know? We were in sync.
Simpatico?
Simpatico. That's exactly it.
I knew exactly what you were talking
Simpatico
about.
with Shadalamo.
It's like us. You and I are in simpatico.
There you go. Anyway.
I like that shirt.
Thank you. I bought it new. Anyway.
Oh, you didn't get it in the thrift shop?
It's a bad joke of my dad's. But since Anthony gets all the horses on top, here's Shinful's race last time out, and she did run well.
What
He
do
did
you
run-
mean gets all the horses
I
on
think,
top?
no, I mean my videos. I have
Oh.
videos for all your top picks. I just totally indiscriminately. I've managed to do a good run on that.
I wanted so badly to get goofy with Back by Gold. Really, really,
Good idea
really
you didn't.
did. I know.
I'm going to tell you something about this horse. I'm not sure that Rick wasn't running her on the,
They got her
on
wrong.
the wrong surface.
They got her wrong.
I
yeah.
mean, she seems like she might actually, maybe she just started to get good when she ran, because I thought she ran very well two-back. That was a speed track two-back.
She made up a ton of ground.
I think she's, it's very possible that she's more of a dirt horse.
I remember walking in the catacombs with Rick when she ran too bad.
With the skulls?
And
You been in the catacombs?
down here.
You probably haven't been to Paris.
I have not been to Paris. It would
You know the catacombs?
You can't drive
The
there.
catacombs are great. You walk through them with all the skulls. It's
Never
all the-
been.
It's pretty cool, actually.
And I remember saying to him,
Been to
you know,
catacombs,
the track probably got her beat that day because she made that big move and
She ran.
yeah, she ran,
ran.
and then she came back and she ran again and she got the
And
job
Don's
done.
hot now. He went from cold to hot in one day.
That was something yesterday.
What about Preposterous? I think Preposterous is interesting in here. Ran a big fig two back behind Dame Cinco. And I don't know.
Dame.
Sorry, Dame Cinco. Dame Cinco.
Give
Dummy
me,
up here.
give me 5.
Dummy up here. Dummy out there. I know that's somewhat of an aberrant number for her, though she did run it once at Belmont. And she just didn't run last
She
time
was
for
terrible
Linda.
last
Now she
time,
comes
right?
back, and it's not like Linda's dropping her, though.
Nope.
Linda's not looking to dump
Protecting her, in fact.
I think she's dangerous. Linda's horses are running very well. I'm going to use her. But I don't disagree with the other 5. I just didn't put her on top.
I just thought
Back by
Preposterous is better races were going
Back
on.
by Gold. She has no chance in here. What are you talking
Why
about?
does she have no chance in here?
She's not good enough.
You see,
She's a
and
different
I feel
gal.
like Shadalamo's races are better going along. Preposterous's races are better
Shadowlum
going
was won at
along.
6.5 furlongs. What are you talking about?
I know she's won at 6.5
And with a
furlongs, but I
76
feel
buyer.
like
Coincidentally, the fastest buyer figure she's ever run. So let's get away from that bad opinion right away.
she got a great setup that day.
So
though.
what?
She's a black
She made
belt
a
who's
lead
on
top in the
front end.
stretch.
Yeah, I guess.
Stop.
I guess.
Stop with this nonsense.
I don't know. I thought Back by Gold ran okay last time.
Okay. Send it in on her. See, if she
buddy,
wins this race and I lose, I'll tip my hat to you.
Lou.
I'll mention on Fox. Anthony loved this horse. I have no idea how anybody can like
words
it.
got to be put. I put enough stuff in my own mouth.
Just kidding.
You're going to put this in my
Just
mouth.
kidding. Just kidding.
I thought about it, though, being a little goofy, but I just thought Shinful ran too well in the last 2 starts on the dirt that I thought the same thing. Maybe Rick just got it wrong.
Race number 7. You've got the horse David likes on top, Midnight Worker. Talk about her.
Last race is just a toss.
Oh, we'll show her. Look at this.
You
I
did
got
it
a race
again?
2 back on top. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll show it. There it is.
Yeah, this last race is just a toss. In way over the head, caught the slab. This horse spun,
What was he
spun his
doing at a
wheels.
mile and 3/16
No idea.
last time in that spot?
No clue.
Insane spot. For
Cuts back now to the 7/8. The 7/8 should hit this horse right between the eyes.
Like they were doing the
This horse
racing like
ran
it's a
well.
favor or
First off the claim for Amir Shashakli from Todd Pletcher. That is not a for all from
Well,
Rudy.
Amir's horse has been running out of there.
they've
I mean,
all
not
been
really
running out
showing
of
it,
their
but they've been
minds.
running well.
Yep. This horse should get a good trip from the inside draw. I think this horse will be a square price. You see, I think they're going to bet this race. I think the Morley horse, I think Abundant Honor off the claim is going to take money. All the Linda horses are taking money
The
now.
horse that you pick's going to take a lot of money, so let's not get carried away.
Oh, you
David,
see, I thought-
this
I
is
thought-
David's
I
play of the
thought
day. This horse will absolutely open up 8 to 5.
I
This
did
horse
not know
will-
it was David's play
will
of the day.
open
All
up
right,
in
so
a
now
short
the horse is
price.
3 to 1. All right, nothing I can do about it. I can't make the price, pal.
No, I'm not saying the horse can't win. I think he can. I think Got the Gold can win this race.
Yeah.
I'll show you Abundant Honor's win 3 back. I don't know what's happened with him. I don't really know if he's just gone completely wrong, but I think it is an interesting claim by Tom, given this horse almost 2 months since the claim to come back. Obviously, this horse was very much to the track this day when he broke his maiden, but he did run the big race. And even his next race wasn't that bad, all things considered. Trying to go a mile and an eighth, which probably a little much for him. I like a little less distance, but let's be fair.
Me too.
This horse was atrocious last time out.
Awful.
So has to be completely turned around. But
Awful
once
at
again,
2.5 to 1.
2 months, and he's not dropping the horse. I'm going to hope the horse get back to that race. I have no confidence in him at all. I think
No.
the winner will be the 1, 4, or 6. I don't have a big opinion.
I like that he's cutting the horse back, too, trying something a little different while not dropping.
Significant cut
Yeah.
down, but- All right. Race
Who
number-
doesn't like Brajol? Oh, you don't.
I know, he has no chance.
I meant the meal.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Race number 8, we'll take a look at King Angelo and 12th Man running 2nd and 3rd. And
You
King
picked
Angelo,
against your boy, huh?
well,
Wow.
The cat's out of the bag. This is a horse.
You don't
that-
want 4 to 5 today?
Yeah, he's going to be very short today. And he's probably going to win. But I'll tell you something. I'm not sure the 12th Man, I know it's 12th Man.
12th. 12th.
Man, I mean, it
12th.
must have been a 12th man. They couldn't name him that, and they wanted to. I'm not really sure he didn't run better. He was coming off a 7-month layoff. He took a wide route. Very good ride in King Angelo by Manny, staying in there and staving ground. But the difference is that King Angelo he can't control, though, with the presence of the one Zertz. He's going to have to sit behind that
Yes,
horse.
he is.
And to me, that's problematic for him. But I still think he's the horse to beat. But I had to pick Sensational. I'll get to
He ran well enough last time, I think, from off the pace where
didn't win.
I
He ran against a better horse.
but he ran against a
But
horse.
he
that
didn't
was-
finish first. And
did-
still, he's got to show the ability to stalk and win.
All
and
right.
He's going to be an overwhelming favorite. There's no chance he's going to be 3 to 1. Now I understand there's some scratches. I don't know if any of the horses were scratched or any horses that were relatively short prices.
20, 12, 12, and 10, so no.
Yeah, he'll be 3 to 1 in somebody's dreams. He'll be 6 to 5 today, in my opinion.
I
he
don't
should be.
disagree. He
Probably should be.
Yeah, he probably should be.
I'm not against him.
Yeah.
I think 12th Man ran pretty well last time, though. I'm not surprised if he runs well. I think Zertz. You like Zertz in here?
I like both parts of the entry.
Love those Penn National horses?
I like both parts
of the entry.
Yeah.
My wasted breath of explaining to people, trying to constantly explain to people to stop betting entries, and you like both halves of the entry.
Yeah.
Based on what?
Well, I think Zertz is going to be able to control, and I think that.
But he's got the better horse stalking outside of him. So what's the difference?
I think it sets up for. I think Handsome Cat can come running at him.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. I hate the entry. I hate both halves. Can't say anybody's interested. Both halves, no shot. I think I do think the 12th Man can win here, and I don't think getting some moisture in the track. I'm sure we'll dry out a bit by then, but it's still going to be wet by then. I think 12th Man is dangerous in here. I thought he ran very well last time coming off the layoff. I thought his prior race behind River Dog was pretty good. It does seem like he runs well on wet tracks, even though he's run well on dry tracks. Shipsational, this is the last chance for him. But I think it's not unfair to sort of take a longer view in what he's done since coming off the layoff. His return race was good. He was wide that day. He was ridiculously overbet in there. He was wide that day. The rail was the place to be. He was wildly against the racetrack. The mistake was that Eddie brought him back 3 weeks later at a mile. The other mistake I think that Eddie made with this horse was he got disillusioned into thinking he's better going longer. I know he ran okay down at Tampa. Those races have not proven to be particularly good races, and one of the reasons is Giants Classic Causeway. I'd love to see Classic Causeway point to the Carter. Because that's the race he needs to be in. The
Carter
idea
that mile.
that Classic Causeway ran a 92 or 93 Beyer in his debut going 7 furlongs and has never once gone one turn sprinting on the dirt
That's
since
amazing.
then. I know he got very fortunate and he won that Belmont Derby. It was an extremely poor group of 3-year-olds in the dirt this year. He's okay, he's okay in the turf, but I think if he's going to succeed, and the other thing is he already has value because he's, from the last crop of Giants Causeway, is 1 of 3. If he could ever win a grade 1 in the dirt, I'm not saying he's going to, but it's not like there's a whole world of tigers out there. This guy ran a 92 Beyer in his debut as a 2-year-old. You tell me he can't run a 105 a year and a half later?
And the sprint division's always lately has been very top heavy.
Very, and it's not even top heavy. It's not even that good. I mean, honestly, and I'm not saying he has to, but to me, that is a horse that needs to at least fail in dirt sprints.
You know what I found interesting about Chip Shational in here?
But,
Eddie takes the Lasix off.
well, I'm not worried about that, but we'll get to that in a second. But we'll get to that in a second. That's fine. He also ran a 1 1/8 in his last start. It's not a 1 1/8 horse. He also ran a race that was dominated towards the front end in a relatively quick pace. I think you go back in this horse, and I love the fact he's gotten back to a 1-turn race. He finally gets some time between his races. I think he's a very interesting horse. If he's ever going to run a good race, it's going to be today. And he handles a wet track.
Yep.
So I want to give him one more chance. I am in no way against King Angelo, but there's no way he's going to be 3-1, and I missed the boat on him.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like there were too many opportunities. There was an opportunity to get 8 or 9 to 500 in Saratoga in an off-the-turf race that he would have won from here to Schuylerville.
Former trainer
And
scratched him.
well, no, it was an owner. I don't want to pick on Phil.
Okay.
I think I don't think that's fair to pick on Phil in that situation. I could be wrong, but I think that it's possible it's either an owner or trainer decision. I don't think it's just to lay it on Phil is necessarily fair. We'll see what happens. Thought the last race, one of the more interesting races. Unfortunately, there's a few scratches, but still.
I kind of like this setup today. Had a little film noir feel to it. I feel like you and I are going to go find the Maltese Falcon after the show or something.
Okay, if you do, let me know.
No, you're going to go with me.
You see, you're Sidney Greenstreet and I'm Peter Lorre.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're done, but Anthony likes having no lights. I prefer an actual professional studio, but hey, to each their own. We'll head over to Naira Bets. Head on over, use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match for $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. Anthony, I'm in pins and needles to see who the best turned out horse is in the first race. You know, they do it in every race.
Every race.
It's insane.
That's all right. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay,
I think the groom should be rewarded.
I do too. But
Jimmy's ready to fix our problems here.
I understand. Your problems couldn't be fixed by Jimmy. $16,850 in the carryover begins in race 3. We also have a $15 bonus. You got to opt in. Aqueduct and Tampa today. Looking at Tampa, big weekend in the cold at Tampa, and 2:30 to 5:30 today. They'll culminate with the 9th race at Tampa around 4:40 or something after I'm off. And that's it.
411 people couldn't fix my problems, Andy.
I'm not arguing with that. We are done. You're just beginning. Chris Griffin's just beginning. He has a reprise, scratch and changes in just a few moments. Have a great day.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or